Go.
Hey, hello, my name is Sarah Herget, and we're going to be talking about commercial fishing consequences today. So, I worked firsthand in Key Largo and Tampa in the fishing and diving industry, so I got to see the decimation of our reefs and what commercial fishing does to the reef systems and to the fish population in the oceans. Commercial fishing is one of the largest food sources for humans, right? We eat a ton of fish. Where do we get fish from?
The sea.
That's right. So living in Key Largo, I saw people poaching, and we rescued turtles that were affected by fishing lines and commercial fishing vessels. And I actually witnessed several times the FWC coming out and arresting people for poaching, which is where like you take stuff you're not supposed to take, right? So have you guys ever seen fishing trash?
Yeah.
What have you guys seen?
I've seen trash in the ocean.
Yeah, lots of trash.
People leave their crab nets out.
Yeah, like so giant nets, right? And then fishing line and hooks, right? So let's see, let's go to the next slide here. So what we're going to be talking about today is commercial fishing, extinction, reduction of what we can do, and then limits. So you guys are here.
And so that's good.
So the human impact. So we're humans, right? And we impact everything around us, right? So the impact that we've had from overfishing has created 158 extinctions of fish that we will never ever see again, which is crazy, right? The other thing we do is runoff, right? So in landscaping, we have fertilizer, and then when it rains, the runoff goes into the sea. And especially here in Florida, it goes directly into the sea. And if you live on the canals, rain goes right into the canals, right? So plastic, we see this all the time when we're out. We see trash bags, plastic everything, plastic cups. I mean, we pulled out so much stuff, trash, right? So the next thing we have is industrial discharge. So we have power plants and chemical companies that live on the shore because they use the water to cool down their systems, and they actually dump their toxic waste into the ocean, which is a huge creator of things like red tide and bad bacteria that kills fish. So like I said, so here's the extinction portion. This is really sad. So that's a turtle, right? So there's been 158 extinctions. So right now on the list, there's 2,278 endangered fish species on the list, which is, that's a big number, right? 300,000 whales and dolphins killed from bycatch every year. Every year. Can you imagine 300,000 whales and dolphins? So, but what's nice is that we have weird places like regular like McDonald's and Arby's and Burger Kings that are actually on the top of the list for fish sustainability. They've created giant fisheries actually in the Atlantic Ocean, which is over on the east coast of Alaskan pollock fishery. They have minimal impact, the least amount of impact that they can have on the environment, and they have less than 1% bycatch, which is unprecedented. That's a very little amount.
Yeah.
And the fish, the pollock, have a reproduction system that's really quick, so you're not decimating a fishing system that they can't reproduce quickly enough. So what country do you think eats the most fish? Tell me.
China.
China! How did you know that?
Because they
Because I said it earlier?
they eat dolphins, whales, like all type of fish.
They do, they eat dolphins and whales. So, China being the largest country and the largest fish catch rate of anywhere in the world of a staggering 70 million tons of fish in the year 2017. And it's only it raises 1.4% each year. So do you think that we can sustain 70 million pounds of fish per year being taken out of the ocean? No, we cannot. So we saw that turtle earlier, right? Look at this dead turtle, isn't that sad? So, the way that fish are killed mostly in the ocean, other than the trash and the runoff and the plastic that we've all dumped into the ocean, is entanglement. So this is called long line fishing, and you have a big fishing vessel here that puts out miles of this netting, and all of these lines have hooks not out there every day pulling these long lines, it just sits there and dies. So when they catch a shark or they catch a turtle or a manta ray, it just dies. It's very sad. So there is no solution to this problem. So this isn't something that we can solve with better hooks or better lines or anything. This is something that just needs to be taken away. It just needs to be done with. Absolutely terrible.
Oh, why don't we just discuss that to the president?
So what can we do about all of this, right? So let's talk about
Call the president.
following, tell the president, fishing laws, eat less seafood, buy sustainable, right? That was McDonald's and Arby's. Look where your food comes from. That's important because if you look where your food comes from, we know that we're following the fishing laws and that it was caught in maybe the USA, and then we'll know if it's sustainable because on the package it will state if it's sustainable or not. Like in McDonald's packaging for the filet of fish, on the box it actually has the sustainable symbol, which is I think two fish kind of flowing over top of each other.
So it's only two fish.
So the U.S. is a global leader in creating sustainable fisheries and giving incentives to fishermen across the shorelines so we can continue to do our part individually by only eating seafood raised in the U.S. waters, which is so important because we know that all of the laws have been followed to get these fish. They're not being overfished. It's not illegally being fished. And then if we take the time to find out where our food is from, and then we eat just less of it, it's just a treat instead of eating it for every single meal, then I think we'll do a lot better. So what we talked about is sustainability, right? Eating less food. We talked about long line fishing. So we talked about some heavy stuff today, right? So we're gonna do better in the oceans. No plastic, no runoff, none of